Hi, everybody. This is Lee, and this message is for those who are looking at the demonstrations, the rallies, the acts of civil disobedience that are happening nationwide, and still saying there's no point, there's no reason, there's no purpose. If you go to a website called resistantchange.org, you'll see listed out a multitude of actions to come, of gatherings, rallies, of marches, of demonstrations, of acts of civil disobedience where people are saying that we're just not going to take it anymore, displays of power. And I went there myself because, again, I said, well, surely these people aren't just walking around carrying signs for no reason. And I tried to tabulate the different actions that are listed from around the country. And I saw that they included things like immigration, women's rights, Black Lives Matter, indigenous rights, demonstrations for Donald Trump's tax returns. There's the Day Without a Woman, the women's strike, anti-pipeline marches, voter registration marches, marches for science, marches for healthcare, anti-private prison rallies, March for Climate, anti-Monsanto, LGBTQIA demonstrations. And so there are a multitude of issues, and more are being added on. They're stretching from the end of February all the way through March, April, and May. And so, with May Day, there's the labor marches and things like that. And so, people are marching for everything from the environment to healthcare to the fight for 15 minimum wage, everything that you can think of. People are taking to the streets, and it's no wonder that they feel that they have to do that since lately elected officials who are paid six-figure salaries to represent citizens are refusing to meet with those citizens, refusing to meet with their own constituents, canceling events. And so, one way or another, people are going to be heard. We even have a president who maintains that he hasn't heard much of any complaints, even while his comment line had been closed down. And so, again, people are going to be heard one way or another. And it's not even just the United States, it's around the world. There's international protests against Donald Trump, that his administration is off to a rocky start, and that there is hostility against him from overseas. And there's demonstrations and marches and strikes in other countries as well. And so there are issues. And so for people to say, well, I don't know what that's about, and it's probably about nothing, and there's no reason. It sounds like that's more like denial and possibly even cognitive dissonance and a refusal to acknowledge the reality that people are suffering and that they feel that they are not being heard. And definitely, it's not just anti Trump type sentiment, that it's been a long time coming. And that there were actually protests underneath Barack Obama's administration as well. That Occupy Wall Street, that was during Barack Obama's tenure. It was a pretty big event that I guess some people missed, saying that there was no purpose, there was no reason, what are these people here for? What's that about? And Hillary Clinton took that view, apparently. She tended to look down her nose at people, even though she had years of warning that there were serious economic repercussions headed her direction. She could have looked at Occupy and say, you know what, I better speak on economic issues. She refused to do that. Instead, she responded to Wall Street, the very people that all these citizens and voters were protesting. She lost because she didn't listen. And, we had Bernie Sanders who basically confirmed, like, yes, the system is rigged. No, it's not your imagination. We had Hillary Clinton saying, you know what, who cares? And then we had Donald Trump saying, you know what, I'm going to pretend to care. at least. So Bernie Sanders got sabotaged. Hillary Clinton got defeated. Donald Trump won. And so he's no longer pretending as much as he used to. And people are noticing that it was just a game, that it was just pretend populism, not real populism. And there are repercussions headed that direction, and that there are people who are going to find themselves in Hillary Clinton's position in 2018 because they refuse to listen. They refuse to meet their constituents. They refuse to understand and learn and know that people are discontent, and that no amount of corporate money, corporate donations, funding, contributions are going to save them from being escorted from office. I mean, Hillary Clinton took billions, and look where she is. Maybe she's sabotaging Donald Trump. We don't know. I mean, although that's what she does and that's what she's good at, sabotaging the efforts of other people. But you know what? Donald Trump wanted to be president, and he is, and so he must govern with the hand he was dealt. He went into this, knowing the game. I think, I hope. But anyway, it's being played, and so the game is going forward, and people need to pay attention to the cards on the table, and the cards indicate that people are upset and want to be heard and want to have the power returned to them, and away from the corporations that are making their lives miserable. And so again, that website is resistancechange.org. You can go there and see that people are demonstrating, not necessarily on behalf of Hillary Clinton, although there are women who wrote a Boston Globe article saying that that's what the women were doing. You can read through the list of events and see that that's not the case. That people are demonstrating for their own lives and their own families, their own communities, and that they're not looking for either Hillary Clinton or Elizabeth Warren to be their savior, that they want to stand up for themselves and march and demonstrate and call attention to their issues. And so, again, for those who want to listen and learn about what the issues are, you can go there and read what's happening. For those who want to maintain that these marches are for no reason, the world is going to pass you by. And if you are an elected official who are pretending like you don't know and understand, again, Hillary Clinton is your warning, and that you may be joining her on the sidelines in 2018 if you don't listen. Good luck.